Okay, so hi students. So last lesson of the Zoom that you have learned about the previous chapters on about the weather and climate in a concept and the climate in Hong Kong, that is different seasons and the monsoon system, and you learn about different weather elements is actually changing in the past few decades. So from this chapter, so first of all, we will learn about not only the Hong Kong climate but also the global climate pattern, and we will learn about the rainfall and temperature pattern as well as different climatic zones in the world, and we will know about how's the changing global climate in terms of the temperature and the rainfall in the world. Okay, so let's start. On page 8, so on your book page 8, you could see that so we have different temperature pattern in the world. As you could see in this colorful map, each color actually representing you the annual mean temperature of each places or each country. So with a red or pink color, you could see the annual mean temperature is over 20 degrees Celsius. For those with light yellow and to the blue color, it means their annual mean temperature is lower than negative 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, so from here you can see the region actually, if they are in near the equator, so 0 degree here we call it as the equator. So near the equator, this region, they got a higher annual mean temperature of over 20 degrees Celsius. While for those, so some example you can see is the rainforest, the tropical rainforest, and the desert. Okay, so they are very hot. But while for the regions that near the poles, Nam Bắc兩極啦, so they will have a very low annual mean temperature, which is lower than 0 degrees Celsius. So for example, you could see this on the TV, right? In the places near the pole area, they will have a really cold weather. So in short, that means near equator we got a higher annual mean temperature, while the increasing latitude, so either increasing to the north or increasing to the south. So with increasing latitude, actually we will got a lower temperature. So the temperature decreases with the increasing latitude. Alright, so please highlight it on your book page 8. So why is it like that? So first of all, let us watch a YouTube video first. So a YouTube video tell you about why our temperature is being so different in different zones on the earth. Okay, so let's watch the video.
Question. Sun rays play a very important role in the climate of any place. You know that our earth is spherical in shape, right? Yes. Look here. The region near the equator gets more direct rays of sun. The direct rays are concentrated over a smaller area, and so they heat up the earth more. As we go away from the equator, the sun's rays strike the earth's surface at an angle. The slanting rays spread over a larger area, and so they don't heat to the same extent as direct rays.
Oh, that's why the temperature decreases as we go away from the equator.
So that means in the area near the equator, you could see the same amount of the sun energy will concentrated on a smaller area compare those away from the equator. So that's why within this smaller area, the temperature will be greater. So while for the area away from the equator, they got a larger area with the same amount of the sun energy, so they will have a lower temperature.
Let us see it once again to understand it more.
Oh, it is very clear in this picture. Areas covered by the rays falling directly is smaller than the area covered by the slanting rays.
And here is greater
that is why areas
area
near the equator get more heat, but areas near the poles get lesser heat, as the same amount of heat is spread over large geography.
Okay, so I think now you also understand about why in the places that are near the equator it got a higher temperature, while for the places near the pole area they got a lower temperature. Okay, so remember the not only about the latitude. Okay, so that means not only about the concentration of the sun ray, but actually for other factors, okay, such as the elevation, the ocean current, the terrain, distance from the sea, the wind or the cloud cover actually also matters about the temperature. But in this stage, okay, in grade 7 we won't talk about this in great detail, but what you have to know is the temperature actually they decreases from the equator to the two poles, okay, decrease with the latitude, decrease with the increasing latitude. And for our temperature, actually our world is divided broadly into three temperature zones, 三個嘅溫度嘅地帶啦。So you have seen a similar diagram in your book 1.5. So we basically got three temperature zones. So first one is about the tropical zone. That is between 23.5 degree north and 23.5 degrees south. So in this area. And okay, it's called tropical zone. And for the next zone, it's called a temperate zone. One die is between 23.5 degree north and 66.5 degree north, or the 23.5 degrees south to 66.5 degrees south. Okay, for the last zone, it's about the polar zone. It lies between 19 degree north, okay, between 66.5 degree north to 19 degree to the north, and also 66.5 degree to the south to 90 degree to the south. And in here, actually you have learned this term in chapter 1.5, so just a very quick revision. So for the polar zone, okay, the north polar zone at the north, we call it as the Arctic Circle. Okay, at 66.5 degree to north, we call this as the Arctic Circle. For Tropic of Cancer, it's at 22.5 degree north, and for the equator, it's at 0 degree, while for the Tropic of Capricorn is at 23.5 degrees south, and last but not least, the Antarctic Circle is at 66.5 degrees to the south. Okay, so this is what you have learned in 1.5 as well. So which temperature zone is Hong Kong located? If you remember, we are located at the 22.5 degree to the north, so that means we are actually located in the tropical zone. So after we talk about the temperature, so let's talk about the rainfall as well in the global pattern. So actually, similar to the temperature, we actually got the uneven distribution of the rain over the world as well. As you could see from this map, you can see there are different colors, right? So for the high rainfall is indicated by a dark green. For the lighter green part, okay, these parts, they are the intermediate rainfall zone. While for the yellow part, okay, just looks like a sand, they are the low rainfall area. From here, you can also see that the regions that near the equator, again, they got more rainfall, so they got wet throughout the year. The annual rainfall is high, which is more than 200 mm. So if you remember, Hong Kong, we got over 2,300 mm rainfall per year, okay, our annual rainfall. So we are wet throughout the year as well. You could see the rainforest. However, in some area you can see is in yellow, like a sand. That means they are dry. They got the annual rainfall of lower than 250 mm. So what are the examples? You may have heard about the desert in Sahara, Sahara Samok. So this is a desert area that is very dry with a low rainfall, and some other deserts also having a dry and low rainfall too. Okay, apart from the desert, in the inland area, they also got a very dry air. Okay, they don't have a lot of rainfall. It's because the wind, the moisture cannot be brought into the very inland area. 係一啲內陸嘅地區啦。And the third places that got a low rainfall is at the high latitudes, in high latitudes area. Okay. And some other regions, for example, this light green area with intermediate rainfall, is because they have the seasonal differences in rainfall. That means in different seasons, their rainfall may have different as well. And why are the places, okay, in near the equator, they got higher rainfall, or some other places will got lower rainfall? So because the high rainfall actually is favored from the high temperature, because you know near the equator area we got a higher temperature, then it will have more evaporation, 蒸發啦. So the water will become the clouds, okay, and then they will have rain. While for the places that away from the equator, that means a higher latitude area, they got a lower annual temperature, so that is not good, okay, unfavors the evaporation. That means they have less cloud and less rainfall. And so just now I've explained for the inland area, because the wind actually can't bring the moisture to the area from the sea, so they cannot have a lot of clouds and rainfall as well. And lastly, in the desert area, okay, or other places that they may facing the dry or low rainfall, is because of like factors such as the air pressure, the winds, the ocean currents, or the relief. So if you study geography in senior form, you will learn more about it. So let's have a very quick revision in this lesson. So for the temperature pattern, we have different temperature pattern that we will decrease our temperature with an increasing latitude to the poles. And for the rainfall pattern, is unevenly distributed over the world. So in the desert area, inland area, and the places with a high latitudes, we got a dry air, okay, so we have low rainfall. So next lesson we will talk about the major climate zones in the world. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. Thank you so much.